Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple here again, doing the final part of the review of our First Strike ration. And remember, this is menu number 9, and this is the second meal, or the last meal. Usually these rations are meant to be broken into 3 separate meals, but I decided to do it as 2 separate meals instead. I forgot to mention in the previous 2 reviews, the contents video and the first meal, that the First Strike ration is a American ration used by the American Armed Forces. It's basically the idea being that in a combat situation, a soldier could have one of these, and that would be able to sustain them for a 24-hour period. The idea being that the ration itself is not too large, cuts down on added weight the soldier would have to carry, because if they had to carry 3 individual MREs, that would be a certain amount of weight, and this First Strike ration meets the caloric content of pretty much 3 rations, but it's about half the weight. So it's a good way to save on weight, but still be able to sustain yourself for a whole day if need be. So this is just the regular empty bag. We already gone through this before. Date code 5253, so the 253rd day of 2015. So that's that. So this is what we got left, basically, from the whole bag. So we're going to run through Raisins Osmotic, caffeinated chocolate pudding. We've got our beef snack combo pack, which I believe is teriyaki and sweet barbecue flavored. We've got 2 drink mixes left. Got a vanilla dairy shake and beverage base powder tropical punch. Not a huge fan of the tropical punch, but that's the one that they give you, so you're kind of, stuck with what they have. We also have these challenge cool mints plus caffeine. As we can see here, each individual mint has it doesn't want to focus, but anyway, they're supposed to hold 85 milligrams of caffeine per mint. So that's a pretty good amount. It's about what you would probably get in the regular cup of coffee. Lastly, we've got a pack of tortillas, and we have our, I guess, entree, whatever you want to call it for this meal, the garlic herb chicken. So we're going to just do a little run around the table first, I suppose, open up a few things, and then we'll try them all. So first of all, we have the Raisins Osmotic. I'm not a very big fan of raisins at all, but seeing it's part of the meal, and not wanting to sort of leave things out, we will eat everything that's here, or try to. Then we have our caffeinated chocolate pudding. So we can see here, 180 milligrams of caffeine per serving for the whole pouch. And we'll just open this and then try to squeeze it out into the tray here. Squeeze it out like a tube of toothpaste. Now, this certainly isn't the most appetizing looking thing in the world, but I'm sure it'll taste okay. Everybody seems to like chocolate. Next, we have the beef snack combo pack. It's got the teriyaki flavored and the sweet barbecue flavored. Now, it's 2 different ones. They look fairly similar. This one on this side, on my right, is the teriyaki. I don't know if you can pick that out there. It says teriyaki there. And this one is the barbecue. You can just barely pick out the barbecue there, next to the top left corner of the bee and bulls. So, yeah, got a barbecue and a teriyaki. Try to get these open. Even though one is called barbecue and one's called teriyaki, I don't really pick up a whole lot of a different flavor, or different smell, I mean, for that. So, I don't know the reasoning behind it. It's just got sort of your standard kind of regular beef jerky kind of smell to it. you know, just kind of smoky. But now we're not going to empty out the whole pack of mints here, but we will give one mint a try near the end. Next we'll open up the plain tortillas. It's interesting, these First Strike rations don't come with a flameless ration heater that the normal American MREs would come with. I guess the idea being that every food component in the First Strike ration shouldn't need to be heated up at all. It's just an extra way to save on weight, and you don't need to waste a little bit of water, even though it's not really a whole lot of water. It's only an ounce or so, or a couple ounces, but any way, shape, or form you can save water out in the field, I guess they want to do it that way. So we've got our 2 tortillas here. They're not bad. Usually these tortillas will have the split right down through the center. They'll actually break apart because they've been kept there for a number of years. But this package, of course, was only late 2015, so these tortillas are only just barely over a year old. So we'll just lay these off to the side right there. And we will open up our main entree. Let's try to get this down a little further. I don't know why they don't have the tear notch across this way. That would have made things a whole lot easier. But, oh, and this is rather messy. I should probably have remembered some of the other reviews I've seen of this and been a little more careful. So there we have it. Once again, not the most appetizing looking thing in the entire world, but this appears to be a just a straight up chicken breast that's got grill marks on it. I don't know if that's artificial grill marks. If one was to venture to guess, I would think that probably yes, it was just artificial grill marks. And it's in this sort of juice. Let's see what that sort of smells like. It's got a very strong garlic smell to it. Very, very strong. I was actually quite surprised. Sometimes MRE entrees can be a little bit on the bland side. Sometimes they don't really go into a whole lot of flavor, but that one actually smells really good. Now who knows? Smells could be deceiving. It could end up tasting horrible, but I guess we'll find out. Usually I find chicken in the MREs sometimes leaves a lot to be desired. If it was up to me, I'd probably only have beef products and pork products in the MREs. I find almost every chicken entree I've ever had in an MRE. It's just something about it that has like a little bit of a slight tinge of metallic taste to it, but that's probably just because of the preservatives they put in and the packaging process. But it is what it is. So the last thing we're going to do, guys, is mix up our 2 drinks. We've got a beverage-based tropical punch, and we've got a vanilla dairy shake. So we'll try out the beverage-based powder tropical punch first. Comes in its own handy sort of pouches that you can use to drink out of if you wish. It's not gusseted at the bottom, but at the same time you can still at least pour your water in, mix it up. We'll just pour them out into the glasses after, just to make things a little bit easier. So first of all, we'll try to get the water in there. Going a little bit more than what the pouch calls for. I find for not all of the MRE or American beverage-based powders that you need to mix a little bit more water in, but I find for the tropical punch, for some reason, it's if you don't put enough water in, it's just amazingly sickly. So I'll give this a little bit of a shake. Probably got too much air left in there, but just make sure it's out of the corners. Now I'm using like icy cold water out of the fridge from a Brita, so sometimes I find these drink mixes, the crystals don't dissolve perfectly if you're using water that's too cold, so I may just sort of show that this is not working perfectly. I apparently it didn't seal this perfectly either. Had a little bit of spillage, but nothing too bad. So let's pour this one out. Try not to make too much of a mess. And lastly, we'll fill up the pouch and get the vanilla dairy shake going. Now, I've had dairy shakes a number of times from the US MREs. The strawberry banana, the strawberry, the chocolate. The vanilla one I find usually tastes the best, but I can never seem to get them to mix properly, I guess is the word to use. For me, no matter how long I shake, anything like that, it all just comes out in a big huge pot of clumps. So I don't know why that does that, but it does. I'll seal this up a little bit better than the tropical punch. I don't need vanilla dairy shake all over the rest of the food. Spread this over a little bit just in case, and give it a shake. Make sure it's out of the corners. That's the worst thing about these bags, where they don't have a gusset on the bottom. They don't stand up vertically. A lot of the powder can stick into the corners, and that, I'm sure, can also lead to the lumps that are in it. That should be enough, but I guess we'll find out in the pouring. Now, doesn't look too bad. We'll see what the glass looks like. And lo and behold, usually don't like self-fulfilling prophecy, but there we have it, pile of chunks. But it should still taste pretty good. Oh, it smells amazing. I don't know if they use it anymore, but I absolutely adore the vanilla pudding mix. All that sound you can hear in the background is the dog once again. I've got food out, and he just wants to know what's going on. So, all right. So we're gonna take a little run around the table, I guess. Got our spoon. Let's pile up a little bit of chicken on the tortillas and give this a little bit of a taste. Now, I find it interesting that there's no spread to mix with this. Now, some people aren't a big, huge fan of the fat-free mayonnaise that sometimes comes with MREs, especially in the tuna ones. But I think that would be a little bit helpful right now. I'm not really going to want to put too much of the juice actually on this, because then you're just going to get yourself in a big state trying to eat this. And I don't know about you, but I don't like to get overly messy when I eat. So that's one of these there. Put a little bit more on the other one. These MRE spoons aren't perfect for getting this stuff transported to the tortilla, but we're getting there. I'm sure maybe the chipotle tortillas probably might have been a better choice for this one, just to sort of add to the flavor. But there you go. Now I'm going to give a little bit of the chicken a try on its own, just to see what it's like. I know the tortillas won't have a whole lot of taste, but it's interesting just to see what the chicken's like on its own. And yeah, once again, you hate to be right sometimes, but that chicken's just got that sort of weird metallic taste that you can only find in MRE retort pouches. I don't know why that's the case. It says it's garlic herb chicken. Yeah, I'm picking up some garlic, but it says it's got herbs in there, but I don't. I can see them. They're physically present, but I certainly can't taste them. But we'll try out one of the tortillas and see if this makes any difference whatsoever. Now, try to fold this up a little bit sensibly so you don't get too much mess. Tortilla itself doesn't have a whole lot of taste, but for some strange reason, it does actually add to the chicken. It does make it a little bit more palatable. What we're going to do next, guys, is take another run around the table, I guess. First off, let's try the raisins, I guess. Clean off the spoon a little bit. Yeah, get a nice look at those. They do actually look pretty good. They got a sheen to them like raisins usually do, but not that bad. They don't look too oily or too wet. So yeah, let's give them a try. And yeah, for a guy who normally would never pick up raisins to actually eat when you're given no other choice, of course you eat what's here, but these are actually pretty good. I am rather surprised, actually, how good they are. Let's cleanse the palate a little bit. Try a little bit of this Tropical Punch beverage base powder. And that tastes exactly like Hawaiian Punch, the regular Hawaiian Punch, for anyone who's ever had that. More often than not, I think in any of the MREs I've had, you find Tropical Punch more than you do any other flavor. I don't know the reason behind that. I don't know if it's, the manufacturer's trying to pawn off its least popular flavor on people, but it's certainly my least favorite. I'd much rather take the grape or the orange over any of them any day, and lemon lime sort of in the middle somewhere. I actually prefer the little tiny sugar-free packets that come in the accessory packs more than the actual beverage-based powders, but it is what it is. Let's give this vanilla dairy shake a try, see if those lumps don't detract from it somewhat. Oh, it's amazingly thick. The lumps aren't too bad. It's just my fault for not mixing it properly, but that just tastes absolutely amazing. It tastes perfect. The vanilla flavor is nice. It's got the right amount of sweetness, and no complaints about that whatsoever. Let's try the beef sticks next. Now, I remember the one that's here on the right is the teriyaki. It's got a little tiny bit of a lighter color than the barbecue. I don't know if you can pick that up in the light. The barbecue one here has got a bit more of a darker brown sort of color, and this one's got a little bit of a lighter shade to it. I don't know. Whatever seasonings and stuff they put in them, it comes out that way. But so remember, this here is the teriyaki. This here is the sweet barbecue. It ended up being a lot drier than I remember them from previous rations. I don't know if this one's just... it's the nature of being teriyaki. I don't know if that's just the normal thing for that, but yeah. That's really, really dry. I'm not really picking up any particular flavor in it whatsoever that would denote it being teriyaki. It just tastes like beef jerky. So let's see if the sweet barbecue is any different. That one's really dry too. Oh my god. It's not nearly as bad, of course, as the beef jerky that comes in the Canadian IMPs. But yeah, it's not that great actually. This does taste different than the teriyaki one, but the only added flavor I could find in this is they could just add a little bit more smoke, and it does seem a little tiny bit sweeter. But otherwise, the flavor of this is not much different than the teriyaki. It's just sort of, generic beef jerky sort of flavor, and that's it. Lastly, guys, I guess for dessert, we'll try out this caffeinated chocolate pudding, and then we'll have the challenge Cool Mint. It's around noon or so here right now, so I don't mind eating all this caffeine or taking in all this caffeine. So let's try the caffeinated chocolate pudding, see what it's like. It's good. It's got a nice chocolate flavor, but you can just easily tell that the pudding has just, well, what I would call, as someone who doesn't take in a whole lot of caffeine, way too much caffeine for an item like this. I find caffeine that's been added to a product, it almost comes off as too bitter, and that's exactly how that seems to me. You take in a spoonful of this right away. You're first met with the chocolate flavor, and then just the general sweetness, and it's got a nice texture. But then right at the very end, just as you swallow, then you just get that bitterness right in the back of your throat, and it sort of stays with you for longer than what you would like. And yeah, so I'll certainly finish this. It's chocolate, and I love chocolate. I love sweet stuff, but I'm not really liking the bitterness of it. So the last thing here, guys, is the Challenge Cool Mint. We'll just try this out. I'm gonna guess that it's probably going to be bitter as well, because all the added caffeine. I've had a packet of the Challenge Cool Mints before in one of the MREs. I believe it might have been one of the breakfast-oriented ones, like the maple sausage patty or something along those lines. I believe the packet of Challenge Cool Mints came in the accessory packet for that. But anyway, let's give this a try. Yeah, I don't want to call things inedible, but that's not great. That's really, really not great. It's just basically bitter. I'm not picking up much sweetness from it. You get a little tiny bit of mint, but really for me the only flavor you get is just bitter, which I know isn't a good description of flavor itself, but that's pretty much all you're picking up is just the bitterness from the caffeine, and it really takes away from it. They don't give you gum in this. You don't get the little packet of chiclets or anything like that. All you're left with is these Cool Mints. And yeah, it just wouldn't be my thing. Of course, I have the luxury of not having to worry about the fact that I'm, out on patrol or need the extra caffeine to keep me alert. But just for the purposes of these reviews, I can certainly say this is not a good thing at all. So guys, this was part 3, the last part of my review of the First Strike Ration menu number 9. This was pretty good. I probably, if I had to put on a rating scale, I'd put this one below the previous video for how much I enjoyed the components. The raisins were good for 4 raisins. Not a raisin fan, but I'll finish those off. The chocolate pudding I felt far too bitter. The 2 barbecue sticks, teriyaki and barbecue sticks, were just a lot drier than I had hoped them to be. The chicken is just standard MRE chickens, just got that overly processed sort of flavor to it. It's got some sort of flavor. You're picking up mostly garlic, but you're not really picking up much of the herbs there. And yeah, you've got plain tortillas. What can you say about plain tortillas? The tropical punch tastes just like, like I said, Hawaiian punch, and the vanilla dairy shake is perfect, except for the fact that I didn't mix it well enough. So thanks a lot, guys, for stopping by and watching this final review of the First Strike Ration. Got a few international rations basically sitting on the back burner right now. Not quite sure exactly which one I'm going to do next. It's down to a choice of either a Slovenian Menu A 24-hour ration or an Australian Menu A CR1M from 2016. But Steve 1989 just did this review of the same exact ration I have, even the same exact manufacturing date. So I probably won't pump out that one early. So either that one or a French RCIR. I've got a Menu 1 Halal RCIR that I don't think I've ever seen anybody review yet. So yeah, if you want to leave a comment on which one you think I should do, Slovenian or RCIR, or even if you want to see the CR1M, even though Steve put one up only a week ago, just leave a comment below, and I'll get back to you as fast as I can. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.